Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit, and once again I'm here from PAX 2012, and I'm here with a man by the name of Majdi Badri.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, indeed it is, and you are from a company called Young Horses, and this is the premier Octo-fathering simulator.
That's right, yeah. It's the fatherhood simulator, Octodad, Dadliest catch. You play as an octopus disguised as a human. You have 2 human kids and a human wife that have no idea that you're an octopus.
You have a secret octopus.
Yes, secret octopus.
Now, you released your first game, and I believe it was actually completely free. Am I right?
That's right, yeah. The first game is actually still available at our site. If you visit octodadgame.com, you can download the student version of Octodad.
So was that just a proof of concept, thinking, I'm just going to make something really silly, let's make a physics-based game where you happen to be an octopus, so everything's very awkward for you?
Yeah, it's a proof of concept. We threw around a lot of prototypes, and when we made the tentacle prototype, which was just some balls on a string, we created a small sink area, and we just had so much fun knocking things into the sink. We said we have to build this a body. And then we figured it could just be arms, but we got into the legs, and then we mixed the two, and it just became this wonderful little game.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's kick it off then, shall we? Would you recommend we start with Chapter 1?
Yes, Wedding Bells.
All right, Wedding Bells it is. I'm just looking at the control cheat sheet at the moment, thinking it's not going to help me in any way.
Wedding Bells is actually our tutorial. Our justification in story is that Octodad is so nervous about his wedding to his human wife Scarlet that he has forgotten how to do everything. So, as the player, you have to teach him again.
Okay, so that controls Octodad's arm. All right. As you can see, he's a little nervous, to say the least.
Yeah.
Either that or he's got moves like Jagger. I can't really figure out which at this stage.
So compared to our first game, we've completely redesigned Octodad and how he moves and how he looks. The first game was a lot blockier. As you can see in his arms, and the way he moves, his body just jiggles way more. And it gives the player way more of a sense of this nautical fish out of water feel.
I've got to ask, what kind of research did you guys do in order to actually make this game the premier Octodad simulator?
Well, none of us are fathers, which is funny because we're making a fatherhood game. But we imagine all the stuff our fathers had to put up with, and those kind of mundane tasks that we put Octodad through are inspired from our real life dealings with our dads. So all the challenges in Octodad are very mundane, domestic things: cutting the grass, flipping burgers, cleaning up. The problem is that Octodad has no bones, and gravity's working against him. So we just imagine what life would be like with something made of jelly.
Whoops.
And we made a game around that.
Okay, we're going to get rid of the mirror. I don't want to look at our horrible, horrible form. Middle mouse button to switch to legs mode. Oh, this will surely go well. Okay. Oh, God, it is an even more complicated version of QWOP. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Except we try and make the player feel a lot better for moving around.
Yeah, I think QWOP is designed for one reason only, and that's just to upset people. At least this is an actual video game.
Right. We learned early that players can only walk for so long, and then they need to do something with the hand.
Yeah.
So every other step, you'll notice that there'll be something that Octodad can go into hands mode, grab, pick up, and throw. And you can just start trashing the place again. And once you're tired, you can start moving again.
Okay, so middle mouse button to go back to hand mode. That is my tie. Ties are hidden all over the place. All right, fair enough.
Ties are the collectible of our game.
Makes sense. I don't think you really need ever any justification for what collectibles are in the Octodad game. Ties, that's fine. Okay, we'll go with ties.
We talked about making some random things like colors and shapes and numbers and awarding players like 32 blue points, and then those don't mean anything.
Yeah, ties are much classier.
Yeah. And then they're what cements everyone believing him to be a human.
Well, naturally. You can't really argue with a man in a tie and a suit.
That's true.
Now, whether or not I was supposed to do that, I don't know, but... So really, this game barely has an objective, does it? It's just screwing around.
No, we like to lead the player through the story with the objectives in the lower left corner. But at no point do we ever tell the player they have to do that.
So they can muck around if they wish, which is...
And we encourage it completely.
I should certainly hope so.
Losing the game is not a bad thing. If you end up knocking everything over when someone's looking, you don't necessarily feel bad for doing it because you made a giant mess and it looks cool.
Indeed. I would like to say that I'm sort of getting the hang of the walking. I think I'd be lying, but no, I think I'm getting it.
Yeah, it's fun to watch different people play because people develop their own styles of walking with Octodad.
Yeah.
Some people are very elegant, like dancers, and just like hold the foot up and then let it swing for a bit and then land. Other people scuttle by clicking really fast, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and like just kind of move it across
I
real
have a
quickly.
feeling I might need a key by the looks of it. The question is, where would I find one? Let's just, we could trash the place or we could go this way. There we go. Okay, there's the tux. Wonderful. I'm feeling more human already.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to ask, where did the original inspiration for the first Octodad actually come from?
Well, like I said before, it was a student game, and we had 3 different prototypes.
Yep.
And originally, Octodad was just going to be an octopus controlling a human robot, and he was going to live in the human's head. And the control scheme was going to be like this huge, really complicated HUD where you had to pull levers and push buttons to control the robot body. But we decided that an actual visual representation of the octopus
would make sense.
Yeah, and it's, Octodad has an instantly recognizable face because of his little tentacle mustache and wobbly head jelly. That's actually all of his organs, by the way. That is his body up there.
Now, can you confirm or deny the rumors that this is in fact one giant scam and indeed he only has 6 limbs?
Oh, no. Octodad has 8 limbs. If you look, he has 2 tentacles for his arms, so that's 1, 2. And then there's 2 tentacles stuffed down each pants leg, which makes his heel and his toes. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. And then his mustache makes up the last 2, which makes it 8 tentacles.
I'm just extremely tempted to burst into "Hello, my baby, hello, my honey" at this stage.
Yeah, watching Octodad bounce is still really fun to do, even when we're developing.
It's really quite hypnotic. Now I just need to get off the door. Like overly attached Octodad. All right, this way. Onward. Find your bow tie. Well, it's not going to be in there, is it? But oh, now what kind of cruel and unusual fellow would do that?
In the first game, we mentioned how Octodad has told Scarlet before that bananas are demon spawn from his darkest nightmare. So if you step on one, you can see what happens to Octodad's boneless body.
It's okay. He's just a little slimy. He's still good.
Sometimes the classic comedy gold is where you got to stay with.
Well, it's slapstick. You can't really argue with that, can you?
Exactly.
Do I really want to start throwing gifts around? Yes, I do. The game realizes that I'm a very violent individual and I need to take out my pain on others. Okay, let's raise that. Let go of an object while... Well, that did not go well.
You want to kind of pitch it back and then throw it forward and let go at the end of the click. Or not the end of the click. Click it as the arm reaches the end of the velocity, or at the end of the throw. There you go.
Screw you, Cthulhu.
Well, people keep like, oh, it's Cthulhu. I'm like, well, what church do you think an octopus would get married in?
A fair point.
However, this is a very clean church, unlike all those other depictions of Cthulhu-esque locations.
The Church of Riley. Well, got to the hall mirror. All right, it's over there. Da-da. Does this game, in fact, have some kind of deep philosophical message where we're supposed to appreciate the little things in life and our ability to walk as a normal human being?
It's funny that you bring that up. We often get asked about that, and people are like, oh, wow, this game is about having secrets and hiding them from your family. Like, this is all a really deep metaphor. And we have to, like, we nod and we say, yes, it is.
That's exactly what it is.
But secretly, we just made a game about being silly and walking around as an octopus and then discovered the metaphors from there.
Makes more sense, honestly. People like to overthink things.
Right, and if people get that kind of feeling out of our silly game of being a dad and a cephalopod, then more power to them.
Well, this is not going well. Let's get into a better position.
So we tried to streamline the controls from the first game a lot so you didn't lose the frustrating movement, but that you wouldn't be as frustrated as you were in the first game. So as you can see, Octodad doesn't fight with stairs like he used to. His body just kind of flows him up.
Yeah, once you kind of get the idea, it's okay. Although there are still objects and challenges to get through. In comparison to the first game, what kind of improvements have you made otherwise? Because the first game was free. Mm-hmm. This is not. Mm-hmm. So you're expecting people to pay for this Octopus simulator. So how would you convince people to do that?
Well, this is a lot less buggy, a lot longer, and a lot more full of content than the first game. There are more levels, and we get to see more of Octodad's life, and we get to experience more things that he can destroy. After this, we'll go to his backyard and experience his domestic life. And then later levels are planned to visit the grocery store, and we see how he actually met Scarlet, his wife. So that's one of the other big questions that are asked is how did he meet her? How could he, charm her? How does she not know? But love's a very powerful thing.
Indeed it is.
So here we play with the suspicion mechanic. Since Scarlet is in the room, knocking over those vases makes you suspicious, because a human wouldn't do that, but an octopus would. So if you were to knock one down, you'll get a suspicion blob, which will fly towards the suspicion meter in the lower right-hand corner.
Thankfully, climbing over the pews in an effort to make it to your wife is not remotely suspicious in any way.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Would kicking her in the face be suspicious, one has to wonder?
He's very nervous. She understands. You can throw that top hat on, too. It makes Octodad even classier.
How on earth do we do that? Let's middle... Aha!
Look at that classy gentleman.
You can't argue with a man in a top hat and a tux.
That's right.
There's no doubt why the suspicion is not here. I would imagine the ring is somewhere in that. Would certainly make sense. I'm fairly sure I'm noticing many marks of Cthulhu and arcane signs in here.
A little bit. I mean, we really, people are constantly saying, "Oh, Cthulhu, Dad," and saying things like that.
Yeah.
And we don't want to encourage it at all. But we have a little bit of things. We play a little bit with the idea of it, but mainly he's just a good family man, and this is a good family game.
Of course.
Oh, there you go.
I have it. Haters gonna hate.
Yeah, that's really fun to do. But obviously Octodad has a booty box full of treasure and gold from the bottom of an ocean.
Well, naturally. What else would he have? Okay, this is getting awkward. All right, let's switch back to... There we go. There you go. I don't think he fully understands the concept of a ring, honestly.
No, it's very large on her. It might be one of the reasons Scarlet loves him so much.
Well, you can hardly blame her. Well, I ain't saying she a gold digger. But there we go, the first level of Octodad Dadliest catch, and domestic activities, I think, is the
that's
next
true.
one. Let's
home
go and have a
sweet
look at
home,
that.
yeah.
So how far out are you from release on this game?
We plan to release in 2013.
Okay.
Where that happens is still up for debate, and we're still kind of we're trying to create the best experience. And since we are indie, we can polish all we need, or we can polish what we need to, and then release, rather than have a rush and get out a broken game.
Sure.
We want to make sure whatever hits the internet and you're buying, that it's something you feel good about buying, and it's a really good quality product.
Which I have to imagine is slightly difficult to do when creating an Octopus regular mundane task simulator.
Yeah, it's actually fun, because we have to playtest a lot due to all the devs are just too used to Octodad's movement and the way he flows. And the problem there is that we get jaded by it. So when we put normal people at the computer and say, play the game, they will look at us with tears in their eyes and ask us why would we do this to them? So we have to go back to the drawing board. So there's all these prototype levels that exist somewhere of these bizarre torture chambers we put this poor guy through.
Wow.
And hopefully someday we plan to release challenge levels for people that, think they're dad enough to take it.
I'm even struggling to get off the ground at this stage.
Yeah, if you look, his eyes are kind of squinty. He's very tired.
Yeah.
His whole body is kind of limp. Once you get your morning cup of coffee, he'll stand up straight.
He's had a pretty rough night by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Oh, my. There we go. Okay, everything's going reasonably well so far. Get off. Get off. Thank you. All right, the children's playroom. Let's not wreck that. That looks like the kitchen over there.
Yeah, this is the living room. Feel free to just knock into the bookshelf over there, which Octodad will destroy. Yeah. So like I said before, everything you see can be knocked down, played with. Heavier things can't be grabbed and picked up, but you can definitely work Octodad under tables and flip them up like that.
Okay.
You can get him under there.
Difficulty.
That's a really small table, too.
It is indeed. Oh, yeah, there we go.
There you go. He's a tornado of love and destruction. That's what.
That's exactly what he is.
There's Scarlet.
Coffee it is. All right. Making coffee. I can't even do this myself, let alone have an octopus to do it. Well, I guess we will start with...
There you go. Just a little closer.
There we go.
I need to put coffee in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, hang on a second. There's nothing in it. Let's find the... There it is. All right. Yep. Now, hopefully, she'll be entirely understanding about my destructive rampages, bearing in mind I've had a very hard night.
Oh, yeah. She's very forgiving. The whole family is. They're used to Octodad's actions. The kids just assume that's just how all dads act.
Well, naturally.
And Scarlet, it's part of the eccentricity that she loves about him.
Seems like you've got a fair amount of Octodad lore in the background for this.
Yeah, we took a cue from the Valve kind of storytelling where they tell the story through the environment. So a lot of the things you'll see or a lot of the story you'll pick up from just objects in the world if you go investigating. So you take from the game what you put in a sense.
Makes sense.
And Octodad's a game where putting in is easy to do because of his body.
Indeed.
So you'll be discovering all sorts of secret things as you play just because you happen to knock something over because you decided to kick all around the town.
Leaving coffee there is reasonable, right? Okay, let's try it again. At this point, I'll probably realize they need to add water or something. No,
there you go.
We're good. Excellent. Laws of physics be damned.
If you, you can try and get under that table there and flip it. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Will she mind?
Oh, no, she won't mind. She's very paying attention on her dishes right now. So that's how I feel most mornings. Just crawl under the table and look up.
Pay no attention to the squid under the table.
Oh, so the coffee's done up there.
Wonderful. I'll just get out of the table. Yep. This is entirely reasonable.
And then, like any normal human, you'll just drink straight from the pot.
Well, naturally. I mean, it's an entirely reasonable simulation of me at 9 o'clock in the morning, although slightly more elegant.
There you go.
There. Coffee has been sorted out. We shall discard the pot, as we should.
Now, if you look, Octodad's eyes are open, his mustache is up, his body is straight, he's ready for yard work.
I'm very excited to do yard work. I could not be more thrilled.
If you keep walking, you'll actually pop off the doorknob. So just, there you go, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yeah, it's very good.
So the backyard is actually where we show you where there'll be points in the game where there'll be multiple objectives in an area. So hitting tab will pull up all the objectives, and you'll see them pop up in that left-hand corner, and you can decide which ones you want to do first.
All right, well, we shall... I'm thinking chopping some firewood could be a little challenging. Most likely the axe is kept in here, away from the kids. Octodad is naturally a very responsible parent.
You'd think.
You'd hope. Oh, possibly not. Oh, look, it's a shed full of physics doodads.
Yeah, Tommy, the son, loves sports.
So this isn't an excuse for you to just put a bunch of physics doodads in the game?
No, absolutely not.
You would never do something like that.
No. Tommy loves sports. So the shed is literally just full of balls. But there is the lawnmower in there.
Yes, we may try the lawnmower. Like, get out of there. You know, I'm seeing more and more parallels to my daily life here. Let's get that out.
And Scarlet's beautiful garden over on the right there that you have to weed without stepping on the flowers.
That'll go well.
Yeah.
You know, I think there are times in the family life where you've just got to realize that some partners are not that good at certain tasks. And it's probably best just to do them yourself. I'm having great difficulty getting at that lawnmower.
Oh, you can just reach up and grab the handle.
Oh, I'm overthinking it. There it is.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right.
You have to just Octodad your way out of things.
Obviously.
Just grab, most players will grab it and just wiggle their way out until all the balls shoot out
so
at them.
So is Octodad a transitive verb, or?
Yes, I think so. You just Octodad something.
Indeed. Yep, that's definitely a transitive verb. All right.
I've realized that I use it more in my daily life than I really should.
Then you probably should,
yeah.
Yes. And it's at that point that the suspicion meter around you starts to rise. Like, why are you saying this? What is wrong with you?
Are you an octopus? Yeah.
It's a possibility. I mean, do you have any proof that you're not an octopus?
Exactly.
Just got to bear this in mind. I mean, if this guy can keep himself undercover, then who knows how many might be living amongst us. Oh, I see garden gnomes, and therefore I have the urge to destroy. We're just about done with this. We're just running out of time. So there's one last thing I want to do,
Sure.
which is grab the axe and attack the garden gnomes with vigor.
Go ahead.
There we go. All right, onward.
There's one kicked over.
Yep.
Actually, if you head into the garden, there'll be one over in the corner you can grab and throw over the fence. But chopping them with an axe is also very fun.
We could do that. Yes.
Yeah, it's fun watching when Octodad picks up that axe, people who are watching the game will always gasp and be very frightened.
Indeed.
But I always reassure them that octopi can grow their tentacles back, so everything will be okay.
Indeed. Octodad Part 4, Domestic Violence. Don't try this at home, kids. Good Lord. All right, well, that's us probably wrapped up on Octodad. We're looking at a release in 2013 on certain platforms. Do keep an eye out for it. And if you wish to try the original, you can head over to the website, which is
Octodadgame.com.
Octodad.game.com, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for showing us the title today.
Thanks for playing.
Octodad Dadliest Catch is on its way, and it will truly be Game of the Year all years. We'll see you next time.